Series 4, Burnout Episode 1. Burnout, when your body sends you the bill. Rachel is 39 years old, a project manager at a consulting firm. Capable, organized, the person everyone calls when something needs fixing urgently. 3 months ago, on an ordinary Monday morning, she woke up, sat on the edge of the bed, and couldn't get up. She wasn't ill. Nothing hurt. Nothing dramatic had happened over the weekend. She simply couldn't. Her husband found her there 20 minutes later. He asked what was wrong. Rachel opened her mouth to say nothing was wrong and burst into tears. She didn't know why she was crying. She didn't know how long she hadn't been able to. She didn't know that what was happening to her had a name. It's called burnout. And it is not tiredness. It is not laziness. It is not weakness. It is the price paid for years of giving more than you received from yourself. Today we talk about burnout, the condition we build with our own hands, day by day, year by year. What burnout really is? Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It isn't an event. It is a process. The World Health Organization defines it as an occupational phenomenon, resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It describes 3 clear dimensions: profound exhaustion, mental detachment from work, and reduced professional effectiveness. But beyond the clinical definition, burnout has a far more human face. Erich Fromm, the philosopher who wrote with rare clarity about the condition of modern humanity, warned that our society has built a cult of doing and producing at the expense of being. The modern person no longer exists. They function. No longer lives. They perform. And burnout is the moment when this engine, pushed to its limits for years on end, stops. Not from weakness, not from lack of character, but because no engine in the world can run at full capacity indefinitely, without fuel, without rest, without care, not even the human one. Andrew is 44 years old, an entrepreneur. He built a business from nothing over 10 years through work, sacrifice, and a dedication his family called admirable and worrying in equal measure. 5 hours of sleep a night, meals eaten in front of a screen. He couldn't remember the last holiday where he hadn't answered his phone. And yet, every morning, he got up and kept going. Because Andrew believed one fundamental thing, that his worth as a person was equal to his professional performance. This belief, what Alfred Adler called compensation through achievement, is perhaps the most fertile ground burnout knows. His colleagues noticed first, not that he was working less, but that he had become irritable, distant, unable to make simple decisions, present in meetings physically and absent in every other way. His wife said to him one evening, "Andrew, you're not tired anymore. You're empty." She was right. And that phrase, "you're empty," frightened him more than any financial report ever had. The next day, he called a therapist. How to recognize burnout. Burnout moves in quietly. And that is precisely what makes it so dangerous. Its signs are clear if you know where to look. Exhaustion that rest doesn't fix. You wake in the morning as tired as when you went to sleep. You rest and don't recover. Cynicism and detachment, the things you once loved about your work, say nothing to you anymore. Colleagues irritate you. Projects feel pointless. Decline in effectiveness, you do more and produce less. Simple decisions become overwhelming. Concentration disappears. Physical symptoms: frequent headaches, repeated infections, digestive problems, an irregular heartbeat. The body sends signals the mind chooses to ignore. Ancient wisdom offers something that sounds simple and runs deep. Stop your activity while you are still capable of continuing. Burnout is precisely the price of ignoring that counsel. Repeated day after day, month after month, until the body and mind no longer wait for your permission to stop. They stop on their own, and then you have no choice. Rachel went back to work after 3 months of medical leave and therapy. Not at the same pace, not with the same meeting schedule. She went back with something she had never had before: the ability to say no. Andrew restructured his days. 5 hours of focused work instead of 12 hours of chaotic presence. Weekends, inviolable. Phone off at 8 in the evening. His productivity increased. It didn't fall. Burnout is not a sign that you work too hard. It is a sign that you live too little while you are working. If you recognize yourself in Rachel or Andrew, or if you feel yourself approaching that invisible wall, like this video and help someone else find it. Don't wait until you can't. The first step is taken while you still can. Subscribe to the channel. Every week we talk about things that genuinely matter, about you and the people around you. Tell us in the comments. Have you ever felt empty rather than simply tired? We're here. See you in episode 2.